How are we doing, guys? We are back again with Before the Whistle Blows, and we've got a new guest on Before the Whistle Blows, my co-pilot, Tom from MCT Fan TV. How are you doing, mate?
Ground control to Oscar, how are you doing?
Ready for landing, ready for landing.
Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah.
Surely it's ground control to Major Tom.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
See, we're not all as quick as you.
No,
We're not all as quick as you. Exactly.
Can he just go now? He's just done on it. That's all he had to contribute.
I've peaked. I'm out.
Yeah, oh dear.
You are many things, but you have definitely not peaks, mate. You have definitely not peaks. Still plenty of energy in the holster as I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway,
You're on your own.
The holster. Elena joins us as well.
Yeah, I came inside because it's less noisy.
Are you inside a Korean karaoke bar?
No.
You know when I said Hal doesn't peak?
Elena, can you just do can you pick number 68, which is ground control to Major Tom? She knows the words. Here she goes.
No.
Okay, come on. She thought about
Ground control to me. Let's go. Right, let's get this show on the road. It's already kicked off. Let's go.
Right, guys, before we start, let's remind ourselves of our fantastic sponsors, which are, of course, Football Prizes. Two fantastic pieces here. An Elan Melier signed and framed Leeds United shirt, $4.95 a ticket, 99 tickets available. Get on that, guys. Competition ends on Monday. Check that out for France's future number 1. And also, because we've got Tom in the house, we've got a very special Man City piece here. Sergio Aguero and Kevin De Bruyne signed and custom framed Manchester City shirt. $5.95 a ticket, 99 tickets available. Check them out, guys. And plenty of other fantastic stuff. And Hal, have you froze there, mate? What, you froze there for a second?
Just stayed still.
I did the same and then realised I was behind the picture and nothing, you can't see me, so it didn't matter. Corey looks sick of his life because he's moving today. He's been packing boxes all day.
Corey, that is the worst. I'm sorry, mate.
It's all right. It's nearly over.
Well, let's get into this, guys. Let's get straight into this. Looking at tomorrow's fixtures. I'm going to start with you, Corey. West Ham versus Chelsea. Must win?
A tough one, isn't it? To have a must win. I think I was on the Just Joe football show earlier, and I discussed before just getting a plug in really early doors.
Yes, good man.
A draw would be a good result if I'm honest, Oscar. Like we've got a lot of injury problems, and I think there is some weaknesses in Chelsea slightly just from that Brighton game. I know they excused it because of the Super League, and you know they play regularly. They play the FA Cup semi-final, but I don't think we've got the personnel to do what we need to do, really. I think Declan's in training, Mickey hopefully back in 2 weeks. I think as long as we keep the momentum up and we just get a point, then I'm all right with it. But if we lose, then I think, unfortunately, it's going to put Chelsea right in there and it's going to be tough to come back from that.
Corey, have you already packed your microphone? Sounds like you're in the bath in a cupboard.
Is it bad?
Nah.
It's fine to me.
Oh, hang on.
I'm just wondering if you have already packed.
Is Hal just playing as always?
No, he's actually. Hold on.
It doesn't sound as crisp as it normally does. That's all. You know, Corey's normally.
What about now? Is it better now?
There we go.
There you go.
Look at that.
Perfect.
That is just music to the ears. That Corey, man. Real stuff.
Yeah.
Real, your dulcet tones, mate. Your dulcet tones. Right, I don't know where I'm going with that. Elena, West Ham, Chelsea. I mean, surely you're wanting a draw in this, or Chelsea win? From a Tottenham point of view,
They're out of it, mate.
Best. I think a draw is best for us, to be honest. I don't really want any of them to win. Don't want any of them to gain points. Realistically, we're not going to make top 4, but if we're going to have a hope, I think a draw. I would like a draw anyway.
Ryan Mason thinks you can.
I love him. I love him so much.
Oh, you love him now, do you, Elena? Can I just draw you to your attention to a tweet that you you agreed with, which was even if Ryan Mason wins all his games and wins the cup for you, he still shouldn't be your permanent manager. You know what? I've got to say, Elena, right? If he could be the next Sir Alex Ferguson. You've got absolutely no idea. He could be the greatest manager on earth. You don't even want to give him that opportunity.
I just don't think he's ready for that sort.
But he'd have just proven he was if he wins all those games.
No, but I think 7 games is not enough to see if he's going to be ready for it long term. I think he should be part of the staff, assistant, part of the backroom staff, but just not main manager. I just don't think he'll be ready for main managerial position. I think if we're going to go for real ambition, as we say, it won't be Brian Mason be manager. But I do love him, but I just don't think he's ready to be our main manager. But it
seems a bit harsh. He like I say, he could be better than Nagelsmann, for example. You don't know.
Again, you don't want it to be his first proper position. You don't want to be his first club. But
everyone's got to start somewhere, and Nagelsmann's young as well. So I think that's a bit like, sure, because he could go somewhere else. If he does well, another club will want to bring him in, and you could then watch him have success from afar with another club.
One, isn't it? You can say that about anyone.
Well, no, because not everyone's going to get 7 games in charge of Tottenham to prove themselves.
How? Are you Ryan Mason's agent?
I just think that saying that someone shouldn't be
Southampton, mate.
Saying that someone shouldn't be given a job if they succeed in that job and already prove they can do that job is very unfair.
I mean, if I go by the first 7 games of Mourinho's reign, I would say the same.
Mourinho's won.
Mourinho's proven himself.
Never seen
Spurs again. That's an argument. You're not at Spurs again. So
I'm speechless because Mourinho is one of the most successful managers in world football.
I'm talking about at Spurs because they looked like it was all going to be fine because he won all 7 games and got us top 4. But it doesn't work like that. Like it didn't end up fine. So I don't want it. I just don't want to be his first club. I thought that was. I don't think that's controversial, but apparently it is.
Well, with me, the thinking is not.
It would be controversial with Spurs fans with me saying I want him.
If he wins all his games, I think that was the quote that you had, and I just thought that was bizarre because obviously, if he proves he's a good manager, just keep him, give him a chance.
Not bizarre. I mean, I think maybe I just have too much ambition than most.
Than winning every game. You're more ambitious than winning every game.
7 games.
That's not enough for you.
I'm actually in shock. I'm having this conversation. I'm genuinely in shock.
Well, I don't think it's controversial saying what I'm saying.
It really is. Go to anyone but and say if he wins 7 games and wins the cup final, he should be our manager. No.
Well, I'm shocked. I thought you changed your mind.
You're a wind-up.
I'm actually confused. Like we're talking about. Okay.
We were talking about West Ham.
Yeah.
How decided to put us on a tangent.
A really hard way to put it. It does depend on who comes in. Like I wouldn't want to get rid of Mason to get Parker. As much as I do like Parker, but it's the same thing. I'd rather keep Mason. But
are the links to Parker? Are the links to Parker genuine?
There are links, from what I've heard, from reliable journalists and stuff. There are links to Parker. There are links to Potter. There are links. There aren't links to Howe, and there aren't links to Southgate. They weren't true. So
if you're looking at people like Potter and Scott Parker, though,
yeah, that's what
you
I'm
might
saying.
as well just give it to Ryan Mason.
He
knows the club.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It does depend who you're going to get in. If you're looking at Ten Hag from Ajax and Nagelsmann, I don't want to stick with Mason.
Nagelsmann's not happening. He's going to Bayern.
I'm not.
He's going nailed on Bayern.
I would put.
Let me tell you
all the money in my bank.
This isn't even a conversation, but anyway, I'll tell you 2 things. Nagelsmann, number 1, RB don't want to sell to a rival apparently, and Bayern don't have money. They don't want to pay for the 20 million that he's going to cost to buy him out his contract. Not saying that if he had the choice, he would choose Bayern. But I'm saying those 2 things would work in our favour.
Am I right in saying no? Sorry, am I right in saying that Nagelsmann's previously turned down a job though because he wants to go to the Bayern?
He's a Spurs fan, and he's apparently so. I don't know, but he wants to get in the Premier League. From what I know, we did make contact. I'm not going to say who told me this, but yeah. Anyway, we did make contact, and we are in contact with Nagelsmann. He is interested in the Premier League, but it obviously does all depend on the Bayern links and how serious they are, and if they want to pay the fee, and if RB want to sell to a rival, because all those things could work in our favour.
No, fair. If you get him, it'd be great.
Yeah,
great. Joe's lost his bank account if they get him though, because
I still
only a
think
tenner
Joe's
in there.
safe. The Bundesliga, it's just
it
basically.
does depend who. If we're sitting here saying we're going to get Parker or Potter, but Mason's won all his games, then you might as well give it to Mason. So obviously, it does depend who you're going to get in. I think there are obvious. To me, it was obvious, isn't it? Maybe not to everyone else, but to me, it was obvious. As in, what I would want would be better than that for the long term. And but if we're going to get someone like for like, there's no point. He's in the job now. But
what do you make to
under 18s? Under 18s, he's not really ready.
Yeah, what do you make to Jamie O'Hara? Jamie O'Hara, he said, get Harry Redknapp in, man. I'd get Harry Redknapp and Robbie Keane in. They know the club. No, I swear to God, he said this.
I know he did. That's why it's so funny.
He's coached at Borough and that. Yeah, with Woodgate and did nothing. And then he also said Bielsa, and he said that Spurs are a bigger club than Leeds. I mean, I think he's been smoking drugs, if I'm being totally honest. But there you go.
There are a lot of going on about Bielsa. I'm not.
No way.
I don't know.
It would never happen, though.
No
it would
way.
be a great choice, but it would never happen.
I mean, we had. I would, how to find it, but anyway,
Bielsa and Levy. It just is not happening. Those two working together. You could not get two more different blokes if you tried.
I mean, you've got Mourinho, which is literally the total polar opposite. So,
too
do you think? So, where are you with your Bielsa thing? Would you?
I love Bielsa, but I haven't spoken about it because I don't see it happening. Also, from
put them fires out for us, Elena, because I genuinely think there's Spurs fans out there that think it could happen, and it's like you really know nothing about the man.
Literally, from what I know, again, I don't know if this is proper, but from what I know, there's no contact to Bielsa at all. He's not even on our list. So it's different with, for example, with Rodgers, he was on our list. Pretty sure he's turned it down. Don't quote me. No one's officially reported it, but from what I know, he doesn't want to go to Spurs, as expected. But for example, Bielsa's not been contacted, so I can't. I from what I know, there's no point of even talking about Bielsa because he's not. We haven't even contacted him to come.
You should have just stuck with Poch. I'm just going to throw it out there right now. You probably should have just stuck with Poch.
You're telling me. I mean, I get accused of being a Poch fan, so you're telling me I don't know that.
Well, you know who to blame because Poch's last game was Tottenham Sheffield United.
I was there. And Eric Dyer didn't know the difference between red and white that day. He decided to pass to every red shirt instead of every white shirt. Bit worried he was colourblind. I wasn't too sure on the day, but it was not a good game that game. But I mean, this wasn't even supposed to be this question. You asked me if they should draw. Yes, I want West Ham to draw. We haven't got to the Spurs game yet. But for the record, I'm very happy that Mourinho's been sacked. I had a little party on my own. I called my dad. We started singing "You're Not Special Anymore," and we're all good. It's all good news. Now, can Pep just put the final nail in the coffin in Jose's career and let an under-18 coach win the trophy? It would be brilliant.
Well, let's get some predictions in. Let's just get some predictions in and move on.
You have so many questions.
Right, West Ham Chelsea. I'm going to go with a 1-1 in this game. Tom, what are you going for, mate?
Well, I want West Ham to get top four, and I'm not just saying that, but Man City and West Ham, we have a lot in common, and I think there's always at the London clubs. That's always seems to be the best away day to go to, and at both grounds. You are.
City fans love West Ham.
Yeah, we do. It's just a thing that's always been that because Zabaleta went there, I think. But
it's a bit weird, but I'll take it. I don't know what it's about, but
no, it's true though, isn't it? It's true. Though.
It is true. Yeah.
I've got a soft spot for West Ham.
Yeah, so I want to see West Ham get top four. So I 2-0 West Ham there.
Hal's also well known for his soft spot for West Ham. What are you saying in this game, mate?
Honestly, I was nearly sick in my mouth there, having to listen to Tom, who is from Yorkshire and supports a Lancashire football team, who also loves West Ham. I mean, that all you need to go. Well, who likes West Ham? No one should like West Ham. Even West Ham fans should question their support of West Ham, particularly after they cheated the entire Premier League in 06-07.
Get over it, Hal. Get over it. We paid the fine. Just move on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You really had the book thrown at you if it was a pamphlet with no weight on it. What it really was months and months of Sheffield United taking West Ham to court to eke out a tiny bit of money, none of which was the amount we would have had if we'd stayed in the Premier League over the course of a number of seasons. Disgraceful. Don't like West Ham. Prediction? West Ham 0, Chelsea 6.
Oh, dear me. Elena. It's just Hal's face. He says it. It's just the passive aggressiveness in his voice as he's going on about it. Oh no, it's not. Is it? It's certainly not passive. Right, Elena, West Ham, Chelsea.
1-1.
Okay. Mr. Wayman?
Yeah, look, I just want to comment, just to get a cheap little plug in there as well. I've had a look across the screen. There's some nice attire going down. Tom, I like your T-shirt, mate. It's nice.
Thank you.
Love that.
I got it done on Monday in protest because I'm completely against everything. I wasn't. If it was still going ahead at this point, you wouldn't see any of these flags still up. By the way, I was about to abandon my club, which was a big thing. So, but yeah, I got this shirt done in protest. It says "Football is nothing without the fans" on the back, so it'll definitely still be worn throughout. The rest of this season. That's for sure.
Good man.
That's a shame that you didn't have to abandon them. You'd have been welcome in the Sheffield United corner. You could have come on the Sheffield United way.
And I also want to. I said this to Corey earlier. He's looking proper Cockney today with his jacket on. I play the Cockney, and then I just want to add about this T-shirt as well, which is available on the All Leeds TV merch store, which I've been getting a lot of love for, and in the comments. So that was the reason I mentioned everyone's attire, so you can get yourself that because it's a boss T-shirt, as it were. And that 0-0 me. Sorry, yeah, my prediction 0-0 for me. 0-0. I think it's going to be pretty boring. 0-0. It's going to be a draw though. 0-0.
Okay,
come on, West Ham for the top 4. Come on,
Corey.
Hey, I just said I'd be a
1-0.
fan.
I know you would, Elena, and we would welcome you 100%.
Corey.
Oh, 1-0. I said 1-0.
Did you? All right.
Yeah,
sorry,
mate. Yeah, it's all right.
Right, let's move on. That was a long discussion on that game. Hal, let's talk about Sheffield United. Because Paul Heckingbottom is still yet to pick up a point. We've got Brighton at home tomorrow. Is this your big chance to get that win on the board before the end of the season under Heckingbottom?
What does it matter? Honestly, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you one thing, Oscar.
What was wrong with that? They were just facts, guys, that have just pointed it out.
Yes, they were. I have no idea what all the giggles are about, but maybe it's because you said the word bottom. One thing I would like to just mention is on Tuesday at 6 p.m, there's a free Alan Shearer, well done, Oscar, you revealed that about a month ago, Q&A that I'm doing. And if you would like to go along to this, it's just on Zoom. Don't worry, you're not on camera. You just type your questions in and I'll pose them to Super Al. If you'd like to get entry to that Zoom, as I say, it's free and anyone can do it. Just email liveevents@bfbs.com. LIVE events@bfbs.com. 6 p.m. on Tuesday. I very much hope a number of you can join me and ask questions, maybe about Leeds, maybe about Alan Shearer's tussles with Leeds, some of his best strikers he came up against. I know he was a big fan of Mark Viduka, so you could throw something in there like that. This Tuesday, 6 o'clock, live events at bfbs.com. This Brighton Blades game, we're going to keep exactly the same 11 for the first time this season, I believe. And we really gave a good account of ourselves against Wolves. So it could be a bit of a better game, but we struggle to score. Brighton struggle to score. I'm saying 0-0.
Okay.
Hal, can I just ask you a quick question? When all this ESL stuff was going on and there was talk of Leeds being top 4 if these teams were booted out and, people were saying, well, we'll get Champions League. Were you thinking, oh, there's a chance at Premier League football here?
Yeah. I was really excited that we could stay up. I love anarchy. I wanted the moral high ground as well with my nephew supporting Man United. Of if they'd joined the Super League and got kicked out of the Premier League, I could have been like, well, you obviously can't support these now. They're just disgraceful. Come to the dark side. I was really excited about that. I would have liked to shake up. I would have loved a Premier League without those 6. It would have given teams like mine and Corey's and Leeds a chance to actually win silverware without there's 6 that have all the money anyway, and realistically, if they stay in the Premier League, which we now know they are, they'll continue to be the top 6 for the next eon years. And it does make it a little heartless and a little dull for a smaller club to have any hope.
Arsenal are 9th at the minute.
Yeah, irrelevant.
Arsenal
It's
for ages. It's the opportunity is still there for these clubs. Leicester, they've shown it can be done. There's still got to be hope for us.
Leicester was an absolute anomaly, and
I'm not the winning the league. I mean, in terms of what they're doing right now, being consistently up and around the top 4.
And that's what you and I, as fans of our clubs, can actually hope for, is that we become an established Premier League side. But you were just asking me about the European Super League. So if they'd left, we, as Sheffield United fans, Leeds fans, West Ham fans, when Locks is here, Leicester fans, would have had a chance to see our teams, I believe, not next season for us necessarily, but in a few years, certainly Leeds next season, actually compete at the top. And that's something we're probably not going to see, maybe ever, really challenging for the title. I know West Ham have had a good season, but at no point have we thought they're going to win the league. So that would have been exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. But, I mean, I'm not going to be funny. Is there much to talk about Sheffield United, Brighton?
No, it's really, really dull.
Let's just go for predictions. Let's get predictions.
2-0 Brighton for me.
Yeah, I'm going 2-0 Brighton.
Yeah, 2-0 Brighton.
Make that 3 of us saying 2-0 Brighton.
And Corey as well. Elena?
Yeah.
2-0 as well.
2-0 Brighton.
That's 2-0s to Brighton. And Hal going with the 0-0 there. So let's go on to the next game, which is what game do we want to do next? Let's talk about Liverpool Newcastle, because obviously Newcastle tomorrow afternoon's first kickoff. Newcastle have slowly kind of picked results up since Maximum's come back into the team. Comfortably safe now, would you say, Joe?
Yeah. No,
would it be since Maximum came in the team? It would be since Tottenham gave them that win, and then they started on there. So
Joe Willock, the Arsenal boy, coming up trumps, eh? I when I get something right, I never stop talking about it, to be fair. And I did say that Newcastle would stay up. I also said the only person said that they would beat West Ham last week, and they did beat them. However, I think Liverpool will win this game, mate. I think Newcastle are safe, though. I think the bottom 3 are as they are. I think maybe West Brom, we were all thinking, 2 positive results, you never know. And then they got battered by Leicester. So that's game over for them. Fulham just aren't good enough. That's why I can't get my head around the Scott Parker thing. Where are they getting this from? It's like the Ralph Hasenhüttl thing. Where even still now, he's still getting, it's the board. They're not back. No, they were top of the league. They're now bottom of the form table, below Sheffield United, below Newcastle, below West Brom. Southampton are gash. That's why Spurs fans need to chill a bit as well. Because
18th in the form table and people still defend.
Yeah, but new manager back, you were expecting something and you only just scraped past Southampton, man. And they're gash. They're so bad.
18th in the form table, we were top as well. Like, literally, that counts. The exact same thing you just said counts.
Hey?
Right?
But yeah, look, I think Liverpool will have too much for Newcastle. I'll go for 2-1 Liverpool.
Okay. I'm going to back that. I'm going to go 2-1 as well. Corey, I mean, did you see any of the Liverpool Leeds game, mate?
Yeah, it was a weird one, wasn't it? Because I was watching your watch along, and I was telling Joe earlier, it's quite funny. You lot going, "What are we doing? Why aren't we attacking them?" But I could see what Bielsa was possibly trying to do, just sit back a little bit, and then hopefully some openings would appear. But Liverpool just look tired, mate. They look like they've had a really long season last season, mentally fatigued as well. I know they've agreed a deal for Konate, is it, from RB Leipzig today? So again, I think they'll beat Newcastle 2-1. But I think we'll see the real Liverpool next season once they've refreshed a little bit.
I mean, Tom, obviously, it's been a walk in the park this season. In the end, the league title, certainly second half of the season, it's been pretty easy. But do you see
Yeah.
Liverpool, if they sign Canate and get a decent Wijnaldum replacement, pushing you again next season?
Hand on heart, no, I don't. I think he's lost the dressing room. I think that's his big problem. I think he has lost the changing room, and I don't think it's just because of Van Dijk, because you can't rely on one player.
But won't people have said that last season about Pep with Laporte when Laporte went out injured?
Possibly so, but maybe you could argue that. But we still finished second. We won a Carabao Cup, and we did bottle the Champions League. But apart from that, we did pretty well. You wouldn't say it was an unsuccessful season because we won a bit of silverware. The fact that there's still might not even get Europa League football for a side like Liverpool, as much as I can't stand them for obvious reasons. They should be fighting for up that. They should be up in the top 2, top 3. Still in competitions, and the outside of the Europa League spots, not in any competitions, trying to fight for the lives for Europe, or they're not going to be in it. So maybe possibly to answer your question, Oscar, maybe next season I probably retract that thinking about it. If they don't get European football, I think they will challenge us, because that'll be their only target. Because
That's true.
That'll be their only target, because when Leicester won the league, their only target was the Premier League, and and it was like Chelsea a few seasons ago. Their only target was the Premier League. Yeah, when you don't have European football, that you give everything to that. Whereas us, United, Leicester, hopefully West Ham, will all be playing Champions League football next season. So everybody will have other stuff to concentrate on, whereas Liverpool will only have the Premier League, and then they'll have the midweek rest, which is obviously vital to keeping your players fit. Not that I want it to happen.
But Hal, obviously, we've spoken a little bit about Bruce, Steve Bruce, on this show before. I mean, obviously, it looks like he's kept Newcastle in the league. Do you see him being kept on, for long term?
Oh, it's a great question. I think
Chris Wilder, could he do a job?
Yeah, I was just about to say Chris Wilder would be a perfect fit for Newcastle. They do have a good squad. Steve Bruce hasn't got the best out of them, and Wilder is kind of famous for resurrecting careers in that kind of Neil Warnock vein. Yeah, I think that would be a really good shout. Personally, I think, and I'm guessing as well as this is also slightly educated, that Chris Wilder can't take a job for what would now be 5 months. That could have a huge bearing on what happens.
Like a buyout clause.
With I believe that part of the deal when he left was they agreed, and this is just me guessing, I haven't got this officially, but it does seem like he's going to take a step back from football, and 6 months is about the sort of time you normally agree when you have a sort of severance package with a manager. So that could be a spanner in the works, because it would mean Newcastle would have to keep hold of Steve Bruce until the sort of start of next season, and then see how he does. And Wilder loves pre-season and getting his players in, and that would put him off joining Newcastle. So that's probably a reason why Bruce would still be there over Wilder.
Okay. Elena, any thoughts going into this game, Liverpool-Newcastle? Can you see Newcastle causing a shock here?
I mean, Newcastle have picked up form, like recently, as I said, but I don't see them beating Liverpool. I feel like, Liverpool are down and out mentally, and there is a lot of fatigue there, that from everything that has gone on with them. Also, like mentally, they've gone through a lot as a club, like that Allison thing, Klopp as well, like his mum and everything. So like there's a lot going on at that club. I just don't think they're mentally right, but I still think that they'll get the result over Newcastle. Probably won't be like a smashing. I think be like 2-1 to Liverpool. It won't be like a great game, but I still see Liverpool winning.
Okay, so we've had 4 2-1s. Myself, Joe, Elena, Corey. Tom, prediction?
2-1 Liverpool. I have to go realistic.
Okay. How?
I just got to say, I love hearing Tom's Yorkshire accent. It is great. It's such a nice accent. I guess, of course, you don't like Liverpool because they're from Lancashire, which would make sense, obviously, being from Yorkshire. I am going to go with 3-0 to Liverpool. Of course, they're playing Newcastle. One man that famously played for Newcastle was Alan Shearer. And on Tuesday at 6 p.m, I am doing a Q&A with Alan Shearer. It is free. Email liveevents@bfbs.com if you'd like to be part of it. That's liveevents@bfbs.com.
You've got a book out as well, haven't you, Hal?
Can I be honest, Oscar? Not a single one has sold since last week.
Ooh, I was hoping
Is that on bfps.com as well?
I was going to pretend I bought the book then, and I thought, oh, I'm going to struggle now. I'm only messing, mate. I will buy the book. I do
No,
promise.
serious, not one sold.
Really?
Well, I didn't get a notification of one sold. It's called All Hollow. If you want to buy it on Amazon or any other bookshop, although who's going to bookshops at the moment? We're in a pandemic. But yeah, Amazon will do you next day delivery if you've got Prime, by the way. We've got Prime. Not showing off, just saying that's how I know how it works.
You were showing off there, mate.
It's a weird flex if I am. I'll tell you what I've got. Amazon Prime. It's weird.
Right, let's move quickly on. Next game we're going to talk about the Carabao Cup final, because we got Man City fan and of course Elena, Tottenham fan. I'm going to go to Elena first. Okay, do you think now Tottenham have got a better chance of winning this game without Mourinho than they did before they sacked him?
Well, you're not just going to jump down my throat, but yeah, I do.
Okay.
I think mainly because of dressing room for me. The morale was so bad. The morale was terrible. It's not about results wise and whatever. I don't think we're going to win it as it is, but I think we've got a better chance without him, which is quite ironic. Without the serial winner, we've got a better chance, which is just brilliant for me. But anyway, I think we've got a better chance without him than with him, just because everyone was so depressed and down and out, and just like the morale around the club with fans, the players generally was just shocking. So I think all he's brought in for is just to lift us a bit, and as a team. So it would be an absolute shocker if we did win, but generally I don't think we've got a chance as it is, but more of a chance now than we did, if that makes sense.
I still think that Levy was hoping just for the new manager bounce for the final, just to win that first piece of silverware. Don't know if you'd agree with that, Elena.
I don't think so. From what I get that is probably maybe like a factor, but I don't think it's one of the main ones. I think the whole Bayern thing with Nagelsmann and how they want him, I think we just asked him to get the jump on Nagelsmann. I genuinely think we have no plan, and we were just like, oh my God, they're going to get him. So we had to sack him to make the position open. Not that it will happen, I'm just saying I think that was the thought process behind making such a huge decision. From what I've heard from like Spurs journalists and stuff, we are not focused on that final. It just shows that it didn't mean much, because most people would say you've got more of a chance with him. So it was more like where we are in the table. The fact that we were low made it a lot cheaper for us to sack him. And if we waited till after the final and he had won it, it would cost us more because it was in his contract. So I think it was just like, I need to get rid of him, but I can't do it in the summer if he wins it. There's actually a fear of winning it with him, apparently. Apparently, it's only costing us like 5 mil or something because we were out of Europe.
Did you hear the Jamie Redknapp thing?
And yeah, apparently there's quite a lot of truth behind that, according to some inside sources. Apparently there's quite a lot of truth as to where we were in the table was purely results based. That was why we got rid of him, but the reason why we waited. So apparently after Zagreb, we were wanting to sack him. We kind of like made the motions to sack him from them, but we waited until we went a bit lower, and that's why we did that, because it saves us money, and it is in his contract about bonuses and not being in Europe and the final. And if he won silverware, he gets more and more. So we ended up saving a lot of money, which is not surprising. But
do you know what, though?
I get it. It was a big contract.
Elena, that though as well, it shouldn't all just be on Mourinho. Because if that's true about the Zagreb thing, can you imagine the atmosphere in that gaff? And if we know players have a lot of power in football. I believe Levy maybe had conversation with certain players. We've seen that from the documentary, right? He's pretty in and around the gaff. If they're coming up to him and he's like, look, I know that for me, that's bigger than just Mourinho. That stinks from top to bottom for me.
Oh, he's always like, as I said from the beginning, there is no secret that ENIC need to go. They needed to go from ages ago, which is Levy, ENIC, they own us, right? Our owners need to go. This is obviously before the whole Super League thing. For me, I have I don't want the Super League to go ahead. All right, I'll give my opinion on that after because you lot, Anyway, but the thing is, this is pre that we have problems other than Mourinho. Levy's been the biggest issue at Tottenham since pretty much my whole life. He's been here 20 years. I'm 26. Like we've won one trophy in 2008 in my lifetime. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not good. So for me, Levy's always the issue. But why am I voluntarily adding to the issue with Mourinho? That's what was annoying. Oh, he's not the only problem. Okay, but you've just admitted he's a problem. I'm going to eliminate a problem if I can. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. He was part of the problem, but not the full problem and not the main problem. The main problem's always our board. Always. But yeah, the full problem is always Levy, because at the end, more than Levy, at the end of the day, we could have saved top 4 if we sacked him earlier, if that was the actual issue. Also, all of these things, not buying, not sending, just generally. And so ENIC have always been an issue. For me, as I say, every manager has a glass ceiling at Tottenham. With Mourinho, we weren't even getting near to that ceiling. That's the problem. I can't sit here and say he's not the problem if he's not even banging on the ceiling to get there.
Okay.
I feel like we had to go.
I mean, I'll just go to
Can
you,
I
Tom.
just ask sorry, I just want to ask Hal something. This book, All Hollow, when was it done?
Oh, that's a good question. I wrote it with Sim about 3 years ago, but
Okay.
Why are you asking?
I remember. I believe you said last week it was brand new, and you had loads of books in your garage.
I never said the book was written new. I had a new delivery in the garage.
See, because I've just gone on Amazon because I was going to do. I'm going to buy one.
Thank you, mate.
And I've seen some reviews
in the garage, and if I don't sell them, they have to be pulped. And as you know, Joe, I'm bouncing back, so I can't afford to get rid of these 500.
He's getting out of it. He's wriggling.
I've
seen some reviews from 2019, and I'm like, this guy said it was brand new last week.
I think, does it matter? Listen, I've written a book.
Oh, I don't know, Hal. But if it didn't matter, Hal, why did you say it was new?
Because the copies are new. It's new copies. And I want to shift them. It's a good book.
The used copy?
Don't buy a used copy. Don't buy a used copy.
There is some used available actually. So.
Joe, don't say that.
Do not do that. Also, don't buy it on Kindle Unlimited either.
No,
I wrote it in. I think it was 2018 in a travel tavern, and it was very cathartic, and it's based on truth. And I think anyone would enjoy it. It's a good book, and you didn't know about it before I told you about it. So how else do people find out about things? There's a million books on Amazon.
A cinematic, fast-paced thrill ride made me gasp and squirm. But once the ride starts, you dare not stop reading. Terrific and terrifying.
It needs to be made No, but it needs to be made into a film, and you'll see the reviews are good. And I don't know those people, so they're legit reviews.
Yeah, good man.
Good stuff. Check it out, guys.
I'm gonna buy it.
I'm gonna buy it. I want to see what this is all about.
Thank you,
Tom. Obviously, it looks like KDB, Aguero, Kane, all those 3 are going to be available for this game. But obviously, City, you've got the small matter of Paris Saint-Germain on Wednesday. How strong do you expect Pep to go in this final in terms of team selection? Do you think it's going to be the full... Well, I say this about City because your reserve team is basically better than anyone else's anyway. But do you think it'll be your main team that plays in this game?
It should be. We're getting to the big stage of the season now. We shouldn't be taking the mick in any games. And there's too many times in the past few years he has gone into games showing too much respect for teams, and it does wind me up massively when you see the likes of Mendy playing and he's putting Ake in there and stuff. He needs to play his strongest team. He always seems to want to play his weakest team at the beginning and then bring on the strongest players. when the game's not going our way. He needs to do it the other way around. Play the strongest team, get 3 or 4-0 up, make it more comfortable, then take off your players and bring on the ones who aren't as good. Because he just needs to understand that some of the games that we play, when you show them too much respect, like we did against you guys, it shows people can bounce off it. People can bounce off it before the red card, because after, like I said, you did brilliant. But yeah, before the red card, the team that we part was showing, we were too defensive, 100%, and you capitalised on that. So he just needs to go out full strength. I think Foden needs to start. I think Kevin needs to come straight back in. I think we need to see Gundogan play. Do
you think that'll happen though with the PSG game? He'll risk De Bruyne in this kind of game.
I don't know. Hopefully, if Kevin's not fully fit, I'd rather see him play on Wednesday night than against Spurs, because realistically, Spurs game isn't as important as the Paris Saint-Germain game. But this is the chance to get some silverware. In the cabinet, which is what we want. That's what we want more. It's a priority to get this competition won. Because it'll be our 4th year in a row we've won it. It seems like we're the only club that seems to take it properly, seriously, to be fair. But yeah,
if I was being cynical, Tom, I'd say it's because your second team is just miles stronger than everyone else's.
Yeah,
is that me being a bit harsh?
I don't know. You're probably right. There's not, but the squad depth thing's a little bit of a myth, because
I'm not dismissing the achievement, by the way. To win any trophy 3 years in a row, never mind 4 years in a row, takes some doing.
Yeah, the squad depth is deep. Is there's a lot of players, but not all the players are good. They're not good enough, some of them, and I know a lot of people will be saying, oh yeah, but we'll take this player, we'll take our player. But when you're fighting on all 4 fronts every single season, there's certain players that don't cut it. And that's not me being arrogant towards the players we've got at all. It's just, when you've got a team like us who are, we're fighting on all 4 fronts, some players just don't seem to cut it.
Any examples?
Benjamin Mendy's one of them.
Okay, I think that's fair. I don't think many people disagree on that.
I also personally think that Sterling will go in the summer.
Really?
Yeah, his attitude's horrendous at the moment, and it shows. It's ridiculous how he's been at the moment.
What's going on?
There's a lot. No, you wouldn't, because it's all quite. There was an incident after the Fulham game where Pep was in a press conference. Sterling had been dropped out of the squad, and he shouted him out on live TV, basically saying, the people who are here tonight are the people who don't want to play for the club, and if you don't want to be train hard in training, you're not going to be travelling with us. And he directed that to Sterling, and then obviously he didn't play the other night. He played last Saturday, and only made he completed one pass and didn't even have a shot on target, and he was supposed to be our captain for that game. And I don't think he'll play this Sunday, or I don't think he'll play against Paris Saint-Germain either. I really think that he's going to go in the summer. I think it'll be a shock, but yeah, I think he's going to be out the door. Madrid or somewhere abroad, because he was linked to Madrid last season. He did an interview with a Madrid shirt on his shoulder, and then there was doubts then, and then it sort of went quiet, and now he's just seemed like he's not bothered whatsoever. Literally, like it's to the point now. If you see him coming on the pitch, you're disappointed, and I never thought I'd ever say that about Raz, because I actually love him as a player, and I think he is a great player, but I think he's just lost love with the club. I think he has.
He was shocking last time out.
Yeah. Did you watch?
Against Chelsea?
Yeah, I watched the game.
Oh, he was poor in that game.
Shocking. Not even just poor. Shocking.
He's been bad for ages, though, hasn't he? His form this season's been horrendous.
Exactly. People won't see if you don't watch every game and every minute, but when you watch it like I do, in every single competition he's played, he's not. I can't name you one game, or maybe one game this season he's stood out more than the rest. I'd
say when you played Liverpool at Anfield, I thought it was superb in that
game. That's the only game he's played.
Yeah,
that's the only game I can physically tell you this season he's been brilliant. Seriously, he's not been good this season whatsoever. Whether it's Mahrez stepping up, maybe there's more competition. I don't know what it is, because it's not just him. Laporte's the same. It's Sterling and Laporte seem to be the ones that are starting to have an attitude problem, because Laporte obviously thought he was going to be the number 1 centre back. John's come in Ruben Dias has come in from Benfica, and they've done a good job. But obviously, John's made a silly mistake the other day, and Laporte played really well, so he's got another chance now. But Sterling's been given these chances week in, week out, and his chance against Chelsea last week, and he blew it. And I think that was the final nail in the coffin. I really do.
I can't believe he didn't sub him, Tom. I was watching the game going, get him off. Get him off. Like, he was woeful. I felt like bad for him as well, like thinking, what's happened? Because you're not getting England set up, is he? I wouldn't anyway, I don't think.
If he carries on like this, I don't think he'll be at the Euros. I think that'll be one of your biggest shocks of the summer. I really do.
He's not been
when
great.
Foden's playing how he is, I'd rather have Foden on that wing than Sterling at this moment in time. 100%. 100%. And I'm not critical because Sterling's done a lot for us in the past few years, so I absolutely adore what he's done for us. But, you know, sometimes players come to the end of the tether at clubs, and it seems like that is the case at the moment, which is sad, obviously, because he's a brilliant player. But if someone loses love with a club or doesn't want to put in the effort and puts in poor performances week in, week out, you've got no other option other than to try and sell him. And I think that's what we'll try and do. I really do.
I'd take him.
Wouldn't mind. Decent backup for Jack Harrison.
Yeah.
Pep, he won't stand for it. I mean, Leroy Sané, I actually think Sané's a better player than Sterling. I actually really like Sterling. I do think Sterling's a fantastic player.
He's been dash as well, by the way. He was shocking in the Champions League.
Yeah. He seems to have lost focus. I thought, before he left, what on earth is Pep doing there? Letting him go.
Sané went for that. He went for the dosh, 100%. And it was all about going back to his home country and stuff, but it was more about the fact that he was getting double his pay, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on, but I hope we win.
Imagine winning the quadruple where everyone hates each other in the team.
Yeah.
Well, no, the treble now. Sorry.
They can't win the quad anymore, can they?
I realised my mistake.
Just blow it. Rub it in, why don't you?
I did.
We deserve to lose that. We deserve
What
to
did
lose
you
it,
make to, I don't know if you've seen it, but what did you make to Goldbridge going, you'll never win the proper treble? Yes. Did you see it?
Man United fans are that sad. They celebrated the Dallas goal against us, and they were celebrating us getting knocked out the FA Cup semi-final. That's how sad it's getting for them. You know, they're playing a Thursday night against, you know, shocking teams. No offense to anybody who supports them, because you know it's everybody's football teams, but they're playing, you know, and
you won't
it's just
find many here, Tom.
no, yeah,
It's all right.
Yeah, you know, no, to be fair, not where, you know, they're all over the world, aren't they, these random teams? But yeah, you know, they're just sad. They really are. And, you know, fair play for beating us at our place in earlier on in the season, but that was their cup final of the season. It's all it is anymore. They seem to turn up for our game against us, and that's all they do all season. And they blag it all season, getting penalties left, right, and centre, getting, you know, scraping through victories. And there's teams, you know, below them who play far better football than them. 100% far better football. Leicester play better football. West Ham play better football. Chelsea play better football. You guys play better football than them. They're there because they get penalties week in, week out. It is, and I don't like them whatsoever, as you can probably tell by the rant I've just had. But yeah, I had to get off my chest. But wow. I can't stand them.
That was an unreal rant. That was
sorry.
absolutely unreal. What a debut! What a debut on Before the Whistle Blows. This is. Does anyone give Tottenham a chance in this game? Hal, do you give Tottenham a chance of upsetting City?
No, not really. I just want to jump in on that. You know, we all hate Man United. It was 48 years ago today that the Blades went to Old Trafford and beat Manchester United by 2-1. Which was not when I was alive, Oscar, before you say anything, but my dad told me about that earlier. So, you know, just
you scored the winner, was what I heard.
I would have been a pro, but for a knee injury. I see Manchester City winning this one fairly comfortably, even though I think Tottenham will start well. They'll kind of be buoyed by that win against Southampton under Ryan Mason, who, if he does win all the games in charge, should be given the job full time. I can't believe anyone thinks that is a ridiculous statement, but I do believe that he won't do that and he won't get the job full time. Man City win 3-1.
Corey, do you give Spurs any chance in this game?
Ironically, like I did say, Mourinho was the perfect guy for a cup final, but I think maybe that bounced because what I understand it is A, is the money, but B, the players sort of lost a lot of faith in Mourinho. So if they can get Kane out there and they can get Son out there, then maybe I think they can get a goal. But I think Man City win 2-1 for me. I think Man City are so professional when they get to those finals. And what did we say? They won 4 on the bounce, I think it is, or is it 3 on the bounce?
It's 3 on the bounce. This will be the 4th.
See, I said 4 because it's like it's so routine. So I think Man City win it 2-1. To be fair, mate.
I mean, Joe, you look at the players Tottenham have got: Son, Kane, not even just Son and Kane, Bale and Dembele. You know, it's mad, isn't it? How I think everyone is completely ruling Tottenham out of this game. Surely, if Son turns up, Kane turns up, they can still cause City some problems at the very least.
No, I don't think so, mate. I don't even think their squad's that good. If I'm being honest,
not even those 3 or 4 players.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, but even is Bale good now? Really? No, I'm not so sure. I know he scored the other day. He got man of the match. I watched the game. I don't know how he got man of the match. Just my own personal opinion. Maybe it was the goal, but I might see things differently. But I watched it and I was like, man of the match. Anyway, I don't think they were that good against. I know. But again, I heard afterwards people going, oh, yeah, they played this, they played that. I didn't think they were that good, but that's just my opinion. But in Southampton, I honestly think Spurs are pretty whack. And I think, you know, getting rid of Mourinho, the whole reasoning that Elena's just give us about the money thing and stuff, and they wanted him sacked earlier. I think if anyone's going to win you a one-off game, regardless of what's going on in the club, it's going to be Mourinho. I think giving it Mason, I think they could get humbled and humbled bad. I think Kane's trained, which is a huge plus, but now I think their squad's pretty whack. The defence is shocking. I think Lloris is past his best. I know he made a great double save on against Southampton, but no, I think Spurs are in serious trouble of tumbling down the table next season because I think either one of, if not both, Son or Kane leave. I have a sneaky suspicion that Kane goes to Man United. I think he's the final mission piece in that jigsaw. If they got Harry Kane, and it pains me to say, if they got Harry Kane and someone else to partner Lindelof, they could give a real push for the title. Not to partner Lindelof, sorry, to partner Maguire. Get rid of Lindelof, centre back in there, get Harry Kane up top. Because I was saying this the other day to Karthik when he came on mine. I think if Alex Ferguson was still at Man United, Harry Kane would already be at that football club.
Probably 2 years ago, I reckon.
Yeah. Because Alex Ferguson, that's what he did. That's what he did, man. He'd have gone, get me Harry Kane now. And he'd have already been there. And I think he's the perfect... He'd be... I don't know. I think he'd be...
I reckon he'd have got both, him and Son. I reckon Ferguson would have done that.
Possibly. I think... But if they go from that football club just on Spurs, they're up shit creek without a paddle for me. You know, whoever they bring in, they're not getting Nagelsmann.
I think we'd finish up. I genuinely think, I'd say it in my chest, if they lost Kane and Son, I think we could finish above them.
This is just to butt in. There's this kind of myth that Tottenham have this top 4 squad. They don't. They really don't. They've got some decent midfielders in there. Kane is world class. Son is possibly even world class. The defense is worse than West Ham's. It's worse than a lot of teams in this division. So that they need to. I think Tottenham fans, and I'm not saying this because Elaine's not here, they need to have a bit of a reality check regarding the squad because I do think if Mourinho had a really good back 4 and a reliable goalkeeper, they would be much further up the table. And they're not even that far off anyway. They're 6th now. So that says it all for me.
Okay, well, let's get the predictions.
And that's because of Mourinho, bro, that they're 6th. I know they'll... Look, we're not Spurs fans. They watch them week out, and it must be hard to watch. I get it. But I can't see them beating City, not a chance. Not now Mourinho's gone. I genuinely would have given them a chance. I know everyone would have gone with City, but if anyone could do it on a one-off game, it is him against Pep and Ryan Mason. Nah. It'd be a dream. Imagine that. First Premier League game, youngest manager ever, and then second game he wins a cup. Be a dream for him, but I just can't see it happening, mate.
I'm going to go 3-1 City. Weidman?
I'll go 3-0. 3-0 City.
3-0, okay. Corey?
2-1 City.
Hal?
Yep, 3-1 City.
Okay. Where is Elena, by the way? Is Elena coming back in?
No, she's messaged. I think it's a boyfriend's birthday in it, so
Fair play, but commitment.
I think she was annoyed at us as well.
I know.
I think she was. It's probably me.
Elena after watching this now.
I know, yeah, it's a
you
good
say
job.
Mourinho overachieved. Right. Tom, I'll go to you last.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, this Mourinho and then obviously the guy who's in Mason, who's in now, I'd have actually said I'd prefer to have faced Mourinho personally, with what's been going on, because you know, there's always that thing, like you've just said, the new manager syndrome. When someone comes in, you know, it sometimes revitalizes a dressing room, doesn't it? You know, but I'm hoping it doesn't. I don't think it'll be a high scoring game. I think it'll be probably a 1-0 or maybe a 2-1 City, because I think, you know, although they always say it's a game every week, we concentrate on every single game at a time. Wednesday night that'll be in the back of their minds 100%. So I think it'll be a low scoring game. But as long as we win, that's all I'm bothered about.
Well, let's go. We got what's the next game we're going to look at, which is on Sunday. We have also got, sorry, just get my fixtures in front of me. Let's go and have a little look at Leicester Crystal Palace. That's on Monday night. I mean, we'll quickly go over this one anyway. Corey, you're looking at that from a West Ham point of view. Can you see Palace doing you a favour at all there?
No. They're the most boring team in this league. They're the most pointless. Just they don't do anything. They don't move up. They don't move down. They just stay in exactly the same place.
Does any club... Is Roy Hodgson more perfect to manage any club than Crystal Palace at this moment in time?
Do you know what's interesting though? I actually think Roy Hodgson's the reason why Palace have been able to stabilise. And I think when he goes next year, I guess someone will come in like a Howe and they'll be a bit more attractive to watch. But I do think they'll be vulnerable because their squad, I think they've got 10 players out the door in the summer. That's a massive job. Even if you do get good players in, time to acclimatise. And we know how mad this league is. I reckon they could be favourites for a drop next season. It's an easy game for Leicester. It's frustrating for me because obviously I want to try and claw any gap between us and Leicester and throw us into the top four. But I thought Leicester were really impressive against West Brom because West Brom have come off the back of two really good performances. And for me, Kelechi Iheanacho are probably not spoken about enough. Isn't it like 8 goals in 11 games? Everything that guy does, off the ball, on the ball, finishing, is absolute quality. And they've... Listen, I think Leicester have got this kind of mentality where you think they're going to bottle it, but every time they go and bottle one, they come back again. So I think they are going to get top 4 this season, to be fair.
Interesting you mentioned Iheanacho there, because Tom, I want to, obviously, I'm not too far from Manchester. I've heard a bit of a rumour about Iheanacho having a buyback clause at City. Do you think there's a possibility? It's quite low as well. I believe it's 30 million, is it?
Something like that, yeah. Something like that.
Pep might look at Jesus and think, I might reactivate that buyout clause with obviously the form that Iheanacho's been in this season.
I don't think he will, based on the fact if you go from City, you don't really come back with Pep, or any club that Pep's been. If you do go, you don't come back really. But we as fans loved Kelechi when he was at City, and hand on heart, it's great to see him doing well because he had a rough time when he first went there. He really did. He couldn't get any football whatsoever, and now he's cemented himself in a side where Vardy can't get goals, and he's the one who's making the goals. And it's great to see because he was always pretty passionate. He was passionate with obviously us. He came through the academy ranks, and he came up and he did a good job. And obviously when he did depart, it was disappointing, but obviously it was for Gabby who came in. But yeah, it's good to see him doing well, and I don't think he will come back because based on the only fact that obviously Pep doesn't want him, I don't think he'd want him back. But also, I think, why would you leave something that's so special for him? He's hit the best form in his life, and if he keeps out with Brendan Rodgers and that team, that why move anywhere else? Especially when Vardy's, he's getting older now. He's close to retiring. Well, not retiring, but he won't be at Leicester for much longer. So if he can cement himself, he's pretty young. If he can cement himself in there, then it'll be great to see, because any City fan you ask will want Kelechi Iheanacho to do well wherever he is, because he's a top player and a top guy off the pitch as well.
I mean, Joe, what's your take on Leicester? Do you think they're going to hold on for that top 4 place? Can't hear you, mate.
You're muted.
You're muted, man.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah, the result on Wednesday showed me that they'd faltered a little bit. You know what I mean? They got beat by West Ham, didn't they? And you're thinking, oh, the wobble's on. Because I said the top three was done, and then slowly Leicester started, the Brendan Rodgers drop off, and they started to get closer. But no, I think the result on Wednesday, that 3-0, and like's been said about Iheanacho, we were speaking about him other night, and he hadn't done it all season, but back end after Christmas, he's been absolutely on fire. So no, I think they stay in there now. We've only got 6 games left. I think they'll be all right, which means it's a straight shootout for that 4th spot, which is going to make it interesting. West Ham, Chelsea, Liverpool. That's it, really, isn't it? So it's going to be a good shootout for that, I think.
Okay. We'll just talk a little bit more about Hodgson there, because Hodgson, it looks like he's not going to be staying on at Palace. Do you think? I mean, you're a fan of Eddie Howe. I know that much. You're definitely a fan.
Every time someone says Howe, I keep thinking they're saying Hal. So,
Hal, you already know the Sheffield United manager, right?
Yes, and I know when it's going to happen as well.
Oh.
So this is what I'm saying. So if you're going to give him someone, he already knows who the new gaffer is. So,
but with Crystal Palace being based in the south and Eddie Howe not like in the north, do you think Eddie Howe will be a success in the south with Crystal Palace?
Yeah, he would. He would fit really well with Palace. I like Eddie Howe as a manager, but I do think his reputation has been massively inflated to what he's actually achieved in the Premier League. Though he did wonders getting Bournemouth up. We've got to remember they are backed by enormous wealth, and he did spend a lot of money, not just getting them up, but trying to keep them up. Actually, a lot more than Sheffield United has spent. So, people that were clamouring for him to be our manager, well, we got relegated spending less, and he got relegated spending more. So I'm not sure he would have been the right fit. But yeah, I think he'll work at Palace. I think that'd be a great one. I do think Roy would probably be right to retire on a high. He'll go out as a very popular manager with most fans in England and probably the world. I know he's really popular in Switzerland, and I genuinely like him. I think he's a really, really good bloke.
I'd give Hodgson, I think what would suit him really well is a job in FIFA, a bit like Wenger, because he's seeing the world in terms of football management. He's managed in pretty much every single league. I honestly think that you look at the people involved in FIFA now, I think you need more football people in there. And I think Hodgson now, I think he could do a really good job in there.
He could do, but also I think genuinely the man has been working since he was 15.
Yeah, but it's a less committed role, a bit like Arsene Wenger. Yeah. It's a less committed role to the daily grind of being a manager.
I agree. I just don't think his wife would.
Okay. Right, okay. Let's get some predictions in. Corey, did you give me one before?
No, sorry, mate. 3-1 Leicester. Zaha will get goal, I reckon, for Palace.
Okay. Joe?
3-0 Leicester. No goal for Palace.
Okay. Hal?
2-0 Leicester.
Okay, I'm going to go 2-0 Leicester as well. Tom?
I think it'll be 2-0 Leicester as well.
Okay, well, let's go on to the last game to discuss, which is the main game of the week. Leeds United versus Manchester United. I mean, looking at this one, Tom, do you think Leeds have got a chance here, of course, in an upset?
I think you have got.
It wouldn't be an upset.
No,
and you weren't looking at the screen, mate. Upset is what I said.
Yeah. I believe that you
upset.
guys. I believe that this. I reckon this.
Look at me while I speak.
Let Tom talk.
Look at me while I speak.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've just seen a thing that Patrick Bamford was on. Have I got news for you? And I like Have I got news for you? And I love Patrick Bamford, so I wanted to see what they'd said. Sorry.
Fair enough.
I thought you were looking into the Ryan Giggs comment that we got from Oscar earlier. I thought that's what you might have been doing then.
Okay, let's not go on to that. I don't want to be sued.
Oh dear. But yeah, I think you've got a chance. I think this will be the easiest game out of the three for you, to be honest. I really do. I think the Liverpool game you played well. The first half you worked great, I must say, but the second half you turned it around and you dominated them. And obviously you did very well against us, but we more into this game. But yeah, I think you can get the win personally. You just play your normal football. They'll obviously come defensive, try and get a penalty, and then sit back and play 10 men behind the ball like they always do. And then they'll probably push for another goal in the 93rd minute with Cavani. But if you sort of keep it strong at the back, playing your wingers, get Rafinha doing some bits, and get some. If you get chances, if you convert them, you'll do it against United. Is he not?
Since your bellend Fernandinho took him out, he's not played since.
Yeah, thanks for that, mate.
Sorry.
Thanks for that.
I definitely didn't just say
I forgot about
Rafinha
that, actually.
on purpose.
I forgot all about what Rafinha did. I forgot all about what Fernandinho did. I'm still bitter about that. Fernandinho, absolute disgrace.
He's a dirty little player,
Absolute
Fernandinho.
disgrace.
Little fouls everywhere.
I'm only messing, mate. I'm only messing.
Fernandinho. No, joking. But yeah, I think you'll beat him. I'll give the score a little bit later, but yeah, I think you'll beat him, and I think you'll be a very successful, week 2 weeks overall when you look at those games. Because obviously, I was speaking to you before our game, which was before both the two games I've gone, and if you said you'd get 4 points out of those two games, you'd have said no chance, wouldn't you? So. Well, Oscar did anyway.
Wayman's annoyed he didn't get 6. Wayman's.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Oscar said it. I mean, I've been like,
you've been winning wins, haven't you, consistently?
Yeah, exactly. You know that.
But Corey, looking into this game, do you expect a cracker?
I hope so, mate. Leeds are always interesting to watch. I think United are. I don't get them. I don't get them when I watch them. I don't understand what they're trying to do. I don't understand what Ollie's supposed to do.
They find a way. That's my worry with them.
They do, but I think
they win games.
That's right. But I think a lot of that's to do with the quality. I think they did have a really good coach in there. I think they would be competing for the title a little bit more effectively. But yeah, you can never write them off. I feel like, and I spoke to Joe earlier, I think Leeds have almost had that learning curve against some of these teams. I don't think you're as expansive against them anymore. I think you read the game and the situation. You don't necessarily change your style, but just in terms of your approach to it. So I think it will be a lot closer. There'll be goals naturally in it. I think I'm going to go 2-2 Leeds Man United.
Okay. Hal?
I see this one being a brilliant game. I just think the way Leeds play. The only thing that's sad for me about the way Leeds play is that the fans aren't there. And I do worry. I have this worry in the back of my head that when fans come back, what if Leeds don't perform quite as well as they have this season? That would be terribly unfair. Just wish it wasn't happening the way it was happening. You look at the teams that have benefited from this coronavirus and the fans not being there. I think West Ham and Leeds would be two of those teams. And I don't necessarily know why. And you look at the teams that have not benefited, you say Wolves, Liverpool, and obviously Sheffield United. So next season, I really hope Leeds have an even better season and the fans can actually go there and get to witness that. I think this will be a cracking game in that kind of vein of the way Leeds play football, but I do see it being a draw. It might be eerily reminiscent of when Sheffield United played Manchester United last season, which was 3-3 and a tremendous game of football. I could easily see it be a bit of a goal fest similar to that.
Okay. Wayman, any thoughts? I mean, what Hal said.
I'm not happy, mate. I'm really not happy because I've just bought All Hollow on Amazon, right? I've just bought it, right? I've got Prime. True. I've got Prime, and it's telling me it will be here between the 29th and May the 12th. I move house on April the 30th. So what happened to my Prime delivery next day?
Joe, why didn't you just ask me for a signed copy? I would have sent it to you.
Because I wanted to give you some money.
Oh, no, I'd still charge you.
Charge you extra. You're forgetting it.
I was born in Scotland and I brought up in Yorkshire. I'm the tightest man on earth. I will just throw that out there. If anyone would like a signed copy directly from me, at JNC Pod, DM me. I will send you a copy.
Are we going to sort out? Can you get in touch?
I want a signed copy.
With Semantics or whatever it's called and say.
Yeah, so that's the name of the business. Yeah.
Well, can you get them to send it to my address before I move?
Yeah, I'll message Sim ASAP.
Legend, thank you very much.
Sure, we have a signed copy.
We probably could have discussed that afterwards.
Can you have a signed copy?
Let's deal with that later. But if you want one.
Mate, you were the one who brought up your book.
Yeah, I think if
Joe
it's,
wants
it's confusing.
signed copy with a
If
picture
you've ordered-
of the author as well, signing it.
If you've ordered it from Sim, that means it's the ones that he's got in his garage. That's another 500 copies. I've got the copies in my. It gets messy. We don't live close to each other. Talk to me afterwards.
Okay.
Right. Sorry. Hal's actually getting a bit of his own medicine tonight, isn't he, to be fair?
I feel a little bit bad actually because I thought, I had in my mind that we would talk to Elena about her ridiculous comment about Ryan Mason, but she seemed to take it really badly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's gone and she went as well. She did, yeah. Let's talk about that afterwards as well.
Tell you what you want to watch, the after show.
yeah. Right. Well, we're on the biggest game of the weekend, aren't we?
Yeah. Any thoughts since we spoke to the Man United fans a couple of hours ago?
No, not really, mate. No, I think look, they're a great side. Like in the side that they have, like this season. I know. Look, they're second in the league. During the semi-final of the Europa League, they beat us 6-2. We owe them one. I hope we do get revenge because they're unbeaten. My biggest thing going into this is they're unbeaten away from home this season. I want Leeds United to be the side that beat them away from home, so we can say we beat you away from home and broke your little divvy record that you're on. That's all I want. Do you know what I mean, though? Because it's the little things, innit? It's the little things, so that when they come with a 6-2, we say, yeah, but you could have gone undefeated away from home and you didn't. We beat you.
Doesn't quite have the same ring though, does it?
You got to take the small wins, Oscar. You got to take the small wins, brother. But
it's not quite got the same ring, has it?
Yeah, it does for me because I'll use it. But
we broke your season-long unbeaten run with a
with a 1-0 win from a free kick,
win, courtesy of a Patrick Bamford winner.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, although, to be fair, Patrick Bamford took stick from Carthick, took stick from James on our opposition. They don't rate him. Carthick said he will not score, so I've said him. I will clip that up. I will also clip up James, and they will be going out on social media when Paddy Bamford gets back on the score sheet at the weekend. I'm gutted about Rafinha, and what's really frustrated me is because Fernandinho didn't need to do what he did. It was bang out of order. He wiped him out, and he should have been binned off. What's this about? What's that about? Why am I being Tim Pot? Dan Bob, I want to know in the comments, brother, why we're being Tim Pot. But yeah, look.
It's probably because you said we broke their unbeaten run at home, away from home or something.
Oh, do you reckon that's the Tim Pot bit? But mate, we sang about it. We won't sing about it anymore after what happened this season, I don't doubt. But we sang about the 2010 thing. We had after ending United's away run. Mate, you've got to take the wins, Dan Bob. It's not Tim Pot, is it? Do you know what I mean? They're the rival. Is it Tim Pot?
It's a little bit Tim Pot. But
Is it?
I know where you're coming from. But you've got to take the small wins, but it's a bit,
It's a bit Tim Pot.
You
we
do
can't
it.
all be Champions League, Corey.
Well, exactly.
yeah.
Maybe next season. Oh, I'm just saying, if I was a West Ham fan, people would be going, "Okay, relax, man." Do you know what I mean? If Tottenham battered us,
I'll tell you what's Tim Pot.
They're good.
Crying after you've beaten Liverpool 1-0 and then not being able to win a game.
That's bona fide Tim Pot. That's like top tier Tim Pot. Yeah.
Is that their last win, by the way? Just totally off topic. Is that
No,
Southampton's
they've
last
won
win?
a couple. They won in the
Have they
FA
won
Cup and
since?
that as well, didn't they? But Man United, yeah. Well, let's just hope we beat them, mate. It'd be nice because ultimately, right, we're undefeated now in 5 games. Right, we beat Sheffield United in there. We beat Fulham in there. We've then, just from these teams alone, beaten City, drew with Chelsea, drew with Liverpool. There is not that many teams in them 5 games will be still undefeated, let alone a newly promoted Premier League side. Do you know what I mean? So if we can make it 6 undefeated and beat them at home, that'd be fucking brilliant. It'd be brilliant. But Yes, Bobby. Yes, Bobby. Get him told, son. Get him
Whoa, he
told.
spent £2 to tell me blowing bubbles is a bit. Come to the London Stadium and see the bubbles next season.
Yeah, it's really quite
see the
something.
bubble
Sounds like a
machine.
threat, that, Corey. Sounds
the
like
bubble.
you're going to
Yeah.
fill him in at the
Corey
ground.
went
Bobby.
proper cockney there.
Come
Come
to the stadium.
down the fucking back there. Come on, you fucker. You know?
I do right. I do.
Millwall then says, "Calm down the den, mate. Calm down the den."
It loses a little bit of impact when you say, "Come down and see the bubbles." It's not as threatening. They're bloody lovely. The kids love them. I love them. You pop them with your hands. They go, "Oh, it's all tingly." It's right. It's proper.
We
doing.
always get absolutely done for the bubbles thing. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
because it
take
is Tim Pot.
Now that is Tim Pot, mate.
What does
You've
Sheffield
literally got a
United
bubble
do? What does
machine
Sheffield
on
United
the
do?
side of the pitch.
What do
You
we
can't
do?
just blow your own
What is?
bubbles.
Talk about
To be
greasy
fair,
chip butties.
and I might get hammered for this, but I love that song. I used to work with a guy called, I forget. To be honest, I actually forget his name. Was it Val? I think it was Val.
So you know two Sheffield United fans, one called Hal, the other one called Val. This sounds like a lie.
No, I swear to God, it's not. No, I swear to God, it was. I used to work for a company called Monthly Construction Magazine, right? And he was like the sales guy in there. I swear, it began with a V. It began with a V, and he sung that song to me, and then it's like that's a brilliant, like a gallon of dinner, like a greasy chip butty, and I think it's a really good tune.
Yeah, it's original and it's old and it's unique and it's a bit like the ground. Of course, the worst thing you'd have is, I guess, leaving a quality old ground where you got
But
good
bubbles,
results,
historic,
moving
isn't it?
to a new solar stadium and then still blowing
in the
shitty
Premier
bubbles.
League. Enjoy Bristol City away.
But we're still in the Premier League at the moment, Corey.
And the worst thing is how you can't blame us for getting relegated this time. You did it all on your own.
I'll tell you one thing, Corey. We have never just got relegated. I can never watch my team get relegated without a glimmer of hope that we might stay up. We had it with your lot cheating last time. We had it with the Super League this time. Just let my team be relegated. We never get it.
How?
Look at
funny.
Oscar.
You've been relegated pretty. Can you hear
Look
me?
at Oscar.
Can you still hear me?
Someone clip
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
up.
we can hear you, but it's
You look like a fucking ventriloquist.
I don't know what's happening to the camera here. Can you still hear me?
When did
oh,
it
he's got.
fly?
Right, I'm back.
I wanted you to say something really bad while your face were like that. Like a night out in Chef. Go on, Hal, give it us.
I'm not going to sing the whole thing, no. But you are correct with how it starts. Anyway, it's better than Bubbles.
Oh, I'll give it a rest.
Not even funny. It's a bit Tim Pot, Corey.
All right, relax. Just come up
Blow
for the
your own
championship and you're
bubbles.
giving it. Go on.
Blow
See you
your
next
bubbles,
season.
mate.
Oh, we need
Don't-
we'll need to quickly wrap this up anyway. Tom's got to leave us soon. He's
Yeah, we do.
he's
We
got
do need to wrap it up. Apologies. Let's round it up now. And before we go, guys, make sure you check out our fantastic sponsors, Football Prizes. 2 fantastic pieces on offer. Elan Melee, France's future #1, we hope. $4.95 a ticket, 99 tickets available. Competition ends on Monday. And of course, we've got a brilliant piece here, especially for Tom. All right, Corey, mate. Yeah, check it out. Sergio Aguero and Kevin De Bruyne, custom signed, framed Manchester City shirt. Check that out for a piece. 2 Premier League legends there. Competition ends on Monday. $5.95 a ticket, 99 tickets available. Check them out, guys, and plenty of other stuff from Football Prizes. So check them out. And
Can I just mention Paul again, who's watching before the whistle blows about an hour behind us again? He's just got onto the Sterling bit. Paul.
I'm so sorry, Paul, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Join us
guys,
tomorrow though, 8:00.
Yeah.
Big match preview. Be me, be Oscar, be Lucy Chappell. Phil can't join us.
Ooh, 8 o'clock.
8:00, yeah.
Ooh, that's when we're doing the watch along.
Who's Sheffield United?
Yeah, we're playing Brighton. Do you want to move it? You know, most of my viewers are Leeds fans.
Don't want to miss that
Funny
massive
how-
game.
I'm not being
I bet they are.
Bloody
We're
hell.
not moving any video for Sheffield United and Brighton. I'm sorry.
Listen,
mate.
I'll just tell you
It's,
something funny, right? Leeds fans have been amazing with me. Nick can't stand Leeds fans, and all they do is they come into our chat, call him a muppet, and say nice things about me. It's brilliant.
Love it.
Guys, big thanks to you all. As always, good debut for Tom at MCFC Fan TV. Make sure you check them out. And
go watch that video now at 9:30.
It's not on. It's not on for them. It's Patreon viewers only. This one.
Oh,
Yeah,
one of them ones, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
Play their money.
See how it is.
I don't charge. I don't charge for my only show on my show on a Thursday night. Which I don't charge for that.
Patreon. Someone's doing well.
very posh.
Yeah, well, you can see me on my OnlyFans. I'll be doing that at 10. It's just me and nothing but an all hollow book strategically placed.
Can you send me a picture of that when I get my book?
I reckon there's people that love you that much on this show, Hal. They would subscribe to your OnlyFans if you set one up.
Yeah.
Oh Christ, Oscar, don't say that.
Hal, you should become like the new
100%.
Benjamin Bloom. Like you should give it a bash.
Do you know what I'd love to do?
Benjamin
I wish
Bloom's not on OnlyFans, mate.
I do wish my name was Jack, because then I'd create a YouTube channel called Jack of All Blades.
I think
Oh,
it's so good as
my
well.
word.
You're just giving it away, Hal. If any Sheffield United fans called Jack are watching, they're like nabbed.
I don't think there's any.
Jack of all.
I think there's only about 4 of us anyway, and none of them are called Jack.
I know one called Val.
You made that up.
I didn't. I swear to God.
I know one called Hal. He had to start with a V. Val.
No, no. His name was something like that though, like a woman's
All right.
name, but like a man's, but with V.
Vera.
Right. Vera. His name was Vera.
Was his name Vera then?
I don't think it was integral to the story anyway.
No, it wasn't really.
No, it wasn't.
Right, let's end it there anyway. Let's
Yeah.
end it there. Got completely off topic there. Make sure you subscribe to Hal's OnlyFans before we go anyway. And we will leave it there. And big thanks, guys. See you later.